Hi, everyone. Welcome back again to our last episode of this webinar series, Tips and Tricks Boost Your Sustainability Objectives with Premier Palletizing Software. Today with me, once again, I have Susie and Bart. My name is
Hi.
Diana. I am from the marketing team, and I'll be here to help you guys with any questions that you guys have. At the end of the webinar, we'll be going through all those questions. So any questions that come up throughout the webinar, please feel free to add them in that question box that you have on your right-hand side at the bottom. So right now, we'll just get this webinar started. So Susie, you can kick it off. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Diana. Thank you very much. Again, we are talking about palletizing software, in particular product from Esco called K-Pack. And with me today, I have my colleague Bart. Bart and I have been around for a long time. We've known each other a long time too, right, Bart?
Yeah. Oh boy.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, a lot of years of experience for me and for Bart. Been doing a lot of things in a long time. You know, pre-press, printing, packaging. Love packaging because it's that perfect mix or blend of science and creativity. But it does slow me down in the grocery store. So it is true that my family will no longer shop with me. And over to you, Bart. A little bit about you.
Yeah. So thank you, Susie. I originally grew up in Belgium. So if you detect an accent, that's where that comes from. But I've been here in the US, based in Atlanta since 1999 and about 30 years now, and coming up here in October with ESCO. So yeah, always fun to show the value that these products offer to our customers.
Okay. Okay. Well, this is the third in the series. There were two others, and I'm sure you can go see the recording if you missed those. Those were really fun. And they're really just short little coffee break kind of things, you know, tips and tricks of some of the products that might be interesting and helpful. And today we're really talking about K-Pack. This is basically cloud-based palletization optimization. And if you really kind of want to think about what K-Pack actually does, you know, it helps you evaluate your different case sizes, maximize how these get loaded onto a pallet, improve your space and your cube utilization to cube out, say, a truck or a pallet. And then, you know, it also can help you really right size your product packaging. So you have a primary pack, and Cape can actually do the reverse, which is tell you what the best primary pack size would be, you know, within certain tolerances, because obviously the product has to fit. But it can actually reverse engineer that and get you to just about the exact right size product packaging. And partially it does that by figuring out the space, but it also does that by performing compression strength analysis on the case and on the pallet load. So figuring out, you know, with some parameters, you know, how long is it going to sit on the pallet? Where is it going to sit? You know, how long is it going to be in the warehouse? What are the humidity conditions, really different between summer and winter, for example? And that compression strength analysis really helps you hone in on the exact product packaging and palletization that you'd like. And it really does help you create a sustainable packaging supply chain. You can really reduce the number of trucks on the road and cut your transportation costs by optimizing this. And it's important to do this very early in the design phases. If you've already designed your primary pack and your secondary pack, and now you're going to figure out how to put it on a pallet, you've lost some opportunities to actually optimize that. So the earlier you can figure out what the right size is before you get too far down the path, right when you're doing design, the better off you're going to be. And a lot of people think about it later, and by then, you know, you've missed some opportunities.
Yeah.
So
I always say the last thing you want to do is ship air, because that's expensive, right?
Yeah. It doesn't weigh much, but boy, does it take up a lot of space. Yeah, no shipping air. We don't want to ship air. You know, when we talk about it, if you've known Cape in the past, Cape was a desktop application, but now we have moved Cape to the cloud. So we're really doing palletization in the cloud, and that has some significant benefits. As you can imagine, it basically allows you to share and to make last minute changes with people around the corner, around the globe. It really speeds up your design and your approval process. And, you know, it's basically, you're just using it in a browser instead of installing any software or something like that. It's an online solution. now, and it's really easy to try. We have a free trial, 30-day free trial on the website. You can just sign up and play with it to your heart's content. It's really easy to use because it is just in the browser, and any standard browser will work. So now it's, Mac, PC, doesn't really matter anymore. And because of that, there's nothing to install, like I said, and it's also really easy to manage. The licenses or the subscriptions. It's a subscription product. Very easy to manage your subscriptions. You have a personal online portal where you can assign those subscriptions to different people in your organization, or move them around really, really easily, which was more of a challenge in the past. So with that, I'm going to actually turn it over to Bart, and Bart's going to do the show me part. So he's going to show us a little bit about Cape-Pack in the cloud and some of the newer features that you may not be aware of. So take it away, Bart.
Oh, thank you for that introduction, Susie.
Sure.
So yeah, let's have a look at this product. My main monitor is here in front of me, and as Susie mentioned, this is a cloud application, so that means a thin client, right? So I don't need to install anything. The only thing I need is a browser. And call me old-fashioned, but Firefox is my go-to. And just like you would log into your Apple or Windows subscription, we have what we call an ESCO ID, right? So that will be your identification that allows you to access that Cape portal. And as a company, you have your own private portal, and you'll be able to give people access to these calculations. Here on my rerun analysis screen, you can see all the calculations that I have done over the past couple of weeks. And up here, you can see that you can easily start creating a new pack analysis. So let me start this demo off by showing you just an example of creating a case. And then also let's sprinkle in some tips and tricks for our more seasoned users who might have been using this product in the past. So you can see that Cape-Pack caters to a variety of different use cases. Anything from a simple, hey, I have a box and I want to palletize this, to a more complex, what Susie mentioned, right size packaging. So let's say you have a primary product that you want to pack into a secondary and then onto a pallet. Being able to resize that and see what the effect is on your pallet is phenomenally valuable for companies filling a stock case or packing folding cartons for shipping those. So let's pick the create a case. And what we'll do here is we'll go to, let's say, round bottle. And today, let's go with a cosmetic, like a shampoo bottle. What's really nice there, you noticed, is that you can bring in these 3D models. So again, going to the library, you can pick from these standard shapes right here. But notice right here, that would be tip number one for today, is you can upload your own 3D models. Those have to be Colada files. So if you remember our studio presentation that Susie and I did, you can create these models in Studio and then simply apply them here, drag and drop, and now you can see your model. So once we have our model, we are going to create a bundled input. And that bundled input, let's say I want to put in a display HSC right there, so a half slotted carton. And let's say we want to put not one, but let's say 12 of those, so 4 in the length and 3 widthwise, so like that. And this is going to be what we call my bundle, right? So that's active. You can see that right here, you only have 3 sections where you have to provide information. So my secondary pack, my shipper, we're going to use a regular slotted carton, an RSC. That's a FEFCO, like a FEFCO 201. And we're going to put a maximum dimension in here of 20/20/12. Again, if you are joining us from Europe, you can see up here on the top right, you can change your measurements from imperial to metric. So You can create your own default settings, and you can also share these settings with other users in your company. That's pretty cool. Now, in this case, I tell the software that I want anywhere between 12 and 24 in a case. You figure out for me what the most efficient way to pack this onto a pallet. And you can see here by default, I have a 4840, but since this is a smaller product, I want to search in my database for a half pallet. So I can simply type in the word half, and we're going to use this Euro half pallet right here. And we're going to cap this because of my stack restrictions to 40 inch. After putting in some of these parameters, the software will now start calculating and show me what the most efficient way is to pack this. And you can see that the software came up with 3 solutions. The first solution, for a total of over 1,000 products per load. And you can see here the efficiency listed here as 90% on the cube and 94 on the area. So that means that, you know, on that cube, we're only shipping 10% air. That's not bad at all, because you can see that as I go to my second solution, that efficiency drops significantly. So this is really the parameter that you want to keep an eye out for. All right, so let's go back to that first solution and let's save that solution. So saving that solution is going to allow me to go back to these parameters later on. And that's very powerful, because, you know, you can give somebody else in your company access to this, and then that person can continue working on that solution, for example. Now, if we want to start communicating this information with other stakeholders, I can view a report. And here are some tips and tricks in that report that we'd like to share with you. So first and foremost, you can see the layout of this report. On your right-hand side, you can pick, that will be your other left. On the left-hand side of the screen, you can pick from these predefined layouts. But one of my favorite things is being able to pick your own graphics and simply drag and dropping those onto these placeholders. Did you know, by the way, that you can also zoom in and zoom out? This is really interesting if you want to get an up-close view of what that precisely looks like. So if there's overhang here, for example, on the pallet, you'll even be able to inspect that. So some amazing improvements compared with the desktop application. Let's talk about a little bit about output. So obviously we can save this solution as a PDF file, but we can also start downloading some of these outputs. And there might be a use case where you want to download those graphics as a JPEG. You can give those a name. Let's call these BART02, and I can download those. And that will enable you now, for example, to bring up a Word document. And let me go ahead and minimize that. So where's my Word document? Right there. And I could easily now go into my download and drag and drop that into my Word document. So as you can see here, the software created graphics for all 4 of those. But what's nice as well, I really like this option where you can download individual components. So if I would click on this one, you can see that the software now downloaded that as a PNG file. And as you know, a PNG compared to a JPEG is transparent. So if I delete that and we go to that JPEG, to that PNG that was just downloaded, again, you can drag that into your Word document or an email, for example, right? If you want to quickly do that. But again, most of these options are already available right there. You can email those reports send those right there. You can print it. You can save it as a PNG. And we'll talk about sharing just in a few more seconds. But something that a lot of people don't know is when you hover over this little pencil, you can view this layout different ways, right? So that's the way that we visualize this. One of these is called single step. And so single step, unlike JPEG and PNG, is going to create a GIF. GIF is a little bit of an older format in our industry, but it really gives the person who needs to stack these boxes in the warehouse onto the pallet a very nice overview of, how to stack those. Because sometimes it's not obvious if it's a spiral stacking or a regular stacking. And you can see that option is available right there. So as soon as I click on download GIF, it'll go through all those steps. It'll download that. As you can see here, it downloaded it onto my desktop. And again, if I want to, for example, include this in a PowerPoint, or in my case, I want to drop this in my Word document or an email, this is some great information for a person who needs to create this actual pallet in the warehouse, right? So loading instructions. Okay, so sharing is caring, right? So let's talk a little bit more about this. And for that, first, I want to show you that we have 3 ways in which we can share these reports. The first way is after I save this, using this solution that was saved here in the Cape Cloud. So from here, I can use that little drop-down menu, and I can say, I want to share this with somebody else. And that person can either have what we call a reviewer role or an editor role. So a reviewer obviously will only be able to view these reports. Those people cannot make changes. An editor will be able to make changes. And then you can see here that you can create users in the system. That I've already done ahead of time. But you can also invite people on the fly. So for example, if I want to invite here my twin, Bart, who has this Gmail account right here, esko-mailbox@gmail, I can simply send that invitation and the software will tell you that it's shared. Visibly, you'll be able to see this sharing icon, and at any point in time, you can go back and you can manage that sharing. So, because if you have many things that you're sharing, it might be difficult to remember, right? So here, Cape will always show you who you are sharing this with and what these people can do. The recipient, on the other hand, will get an email. So here is that person's email, and they'll be able to simply go to that email and simply follow that link, and that'll bring them straight into that Cape report. So if they click on that, for example, here, you can see that they get straight into that report. So how cool is that, right? Second way to share is using our share and approve solution. So share and approve, for people who are not aware of that, is kind of like our ESCO's low cost way of sharing. So it really focuses on sharing. So if we go back to the data, so we open that input data again, you can see that the sharing button was in the report. What we're going to do before that is I'm going to make some changes to my layout. So instead of a dozen to 2 dozen, let's change this to 49 to 96. So right there. Yes, I know that. 48 to 96. That's great. And let's rerun that calculation. So you see that Cape allows you to very quickly make changes. And here we can see now our rearrangement. So the one with 48 gives me the highest efficiency here. So you can see that I have 4 of these stacked in the shipper, and then this will be my final output. So again, going to that view report, I'm going to overwrite my original solution. And then you can see here that you can easily share this with our share and approve solution. And I believe, Susie, correct me if I'm wrong, we have also a free version of that. Is that
free? Yeah, there's definitely a free trial of Share and Approve that you can try and share these reports out. And that allows you to actually run some approval cycles. But you can also, in Share and Approve, do other things besides CAPE reports. It could be PDF files or things like that. So it's a general purpose Share and Approve site.
Wow, that's awesome. And I believe you have up to, what, 50 free?
Every month, 50 free approvals. So
Wow.
It's
That's awesome.
It's
So,
very awesome.
yeah, because here we can really now request from somebody an approval, right? As we're, I can see here there's already an approval cycle running on this. So you can type again the name of a person that you want to assign to that approval. And then you can say, I'm going to request one. In this case, the approval cycle is already running on this. But right there, you'll have that little icon, and that will keep you informed of that approval. And so what that looks like on the other hand, on the other side for the approver is they will get a link, they click on it, they immediately get into this viewer here in Share and Approve. They can zoom in, they can see all the information, and then ultimately they're asked to approve or reject this
I think
information.
they can do some comments and such as well, right, Bart?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can come in, and since this document is already approved, we can't change it anymore, but you
Right.
can create little mock-ups right here and say, hey, are you sure? Or I see the cube efficiency is only 80%. Can you do better? So yeah, you can have a chat back and forth.
Nice.
Now, one last way of sharing. So we talked about the Cape Cloud, the second one, Share and Approve. Our last way to share is using our more robust approval platform that has been around for quite a number of years, and that's called Web Center. So that really allows you to approve, but also to add a process behind it, right? So, hey, first it needs to go to this person, and then once it's gone to that person, I want to then have automatically somebody create that shipper for me using Ardios CAD, right? So here I can log in, for example, as project manager user with my password, and then log in. And then I can say, hey, I have my favorite Esco World project ready right here. And I want to put this in my report right there. And I want to call this BART report. And then the moment it arrives in that folder, Web Center notices that, and it can automatically start an approval cycle, or it can notify my structural designer to look at this and start building that shipper for me.
Right.
So again,
I think that it was good that you showed that that entire project, because it had a lot of components to it, and so this report is just becoming another part of this bigger project, right?
oh yeah, absolutely. So in this case, everything is housed there, right? So not only this Cape report, but you can see also our 3D assets. Remember, Susie, that we produced in our first demo?
We did that a couple weeks ago, I think.
Yeah, that's right. And you can see here some really nice palletization. Here we can see our shipper, dancing fish. And you can see again here this powerful viewer built into the solution. I don't want to hijack the demonstration here, but it's using kind of like this web-based viewer. Again, a thin client. You don't need to install anything. Here you can inspect all these assets into the or 3D and again get approvals on those. So everything integrated with each other, seamless integration between Cape and then these approval solutions. So sharing is caring. Now we have a few minutes left, I see. So let's quickly show some other use case. So instead of this create a case, we can also do things like fill a stock case. So if we pick, again, our same round bottle right here, our shampoo bottle, and we're asking, again, between a dozen and 2 dozen, we now see that we can also look for fill restrictions, and we can offer the software a number of cases. So let's say in my company, I have 10 standard cases that I use for shipping. The software will now automatically be able to figure out, so I said anywhere between a dozen and 2 dozen, the software will now automatically be able to figure out which of those 10 shippers is the most efficient one. And it figured out that shipper number 8 is the most efficient one to ship this out. Again, this does not look very efficient. And the reason is because I have only 10 different sizes. So that could be a reason. But another reason could be that maybe if I push my solution a little bit further by going into this palletization and going into these load details and maybe saying, hey, show me maybe with a slight overhang or by turning these boxes upside down. After all, it is shampoo, so who cares? It's not going to leak, right? If I recalculate, am I going to be able to push that efficiency? Because after all, let's not forget, this is what it's all about, to achieve that higher level of efficiency and not shipping air, right? So, and I did. I was able to push this almost to a 90% efficiency. Again, by zooming in here, we can see here this very slight overhang, right? You could say, well, you know what? We don't allow that because this might damage the product. We can further finish this with strapping and maybe a shroud around it to protect it. So maybe in your company, this is a no-no. But again, quick FYI, you can always very quickly make changes here in CAPE. So we've come to the end of the presentation. Hopefully for our seasoned users today on the call, we were able to give you some of these little insider tips and tricks. Twister right there. And yeah, back to you, Susie.
Yeah, that was great, Bart. Those were some really nice tips you're showing there, and we'd be happy to take any questions. I did want to tell the team that's here, everybody that's here, that ESCO World is coming up, the premier event for packaging professionals, and it is in Dallas this year. So it's registration is open. Come join us there. Both Bart and I will be there, and would love to talk to you some more. So back to you, Diana.
Thank you, Susie. And I do see a question here. However, it's in German. Bart,
Oh,
let me see. Yes, I speak some German. So. Make the screen from Bart on top groß. How do I get the screen from Bart on top large? Thomas, I'm not sure if you're alluding to the actual software, but how do I acquire a trial for that? You could go to esko.com, type in free software, and you will find the link, or share and approve free, and you'll find that link that will give you access to a 30-day full trial. I hope that was your question, but yeah.
Okay, and then right now I'm going to take this minute to just publish a poll that's going to appear on your screen. Please respond to it if you would like to get a demonstration from ESCO, a personalized demonstration from our team. We're more than happy to reach out to you and talk to you about, whatever point solutions you're interested in. If it's, excuse me, if it's this one or any other from the series, we are more than happy to do so. So yeah, I think we've come to an end. This is our last episode of our series. So thank you all for joining. If you joined us for all three, thank you. Also, as a reminder, you will be receiving a recording from this presentation. If you want to rewatch or anything like that, feel free to do so. Or you can also email us at hello@esco.com with any questions that you might have regarding this. And then I think we have time for one more question. So here is,
Yes.
can this
Mhm.
program show artwork palette PDQ display on palette?
Yes, but keep in mind, Kevin, the artwork is more just for placement purposes. If you really want this high-end artwork where you can zoom in and see how it really looks like, we really recommend our studio product. So you can take that cape, bring it into studio, and apply your graphics there. But I hope that answers your question.
And render out some nice images. I could
Oh yeah,
imagine. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
hmm Yeah,
Great.
but yes, you can in cape,
Yeah.
but it's more meant for placement.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Susie and Bart. And I will see you guys on the next webinar. Thank you.
You got
Okay.
it. Thanks,
All right.
everyone.
Thank
Bye.
you, everybody.
Take
See
care.
you next time.
Bye now.